Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Entertainment News on Channels Television. Back to music. Canada-based Nigerian music enthusiast Funmi Oyatogun is celebrating Nigeria's 65th independence with a series of classical music concerts that presents some of Nigeria's evergreen songs in a classical manner delivered by a full orchestra. It means that the timeless songs of legends like Victor Olaiya, Osita Osadebe, Victor Uwaifo, Alex Zito, Evie, Edna, Ugoli, and many others will take a new form across different stages that host the concert series. The concert has already been performed in Calgary and Toronto, both in Canada, and is scheduled to host in Nigeria over this weekend. Now, the concert headliner Funmi Oyatogun now joins me on the program from Toronto in Canada. Many thanks for joining us and congratulations on your already completed shows in Canada. What was the reception like, bearing in mind that these songs that you're giving a new coloration through the orchestra may be new to some of your audience, and that nostalgic feeling that you're hoping to evoke might not be there?
So we had great reception in our Canada shows. Of course, we were trying to leverage the nostalgia of Nigerian music. Nigeria is going to be 65, so we wanted to take people on a journey through the history of Nigerian music. And that means the majority of our audience were Nigerians who live in the diaspora. And for them, it was nostalgic. For some people, they grew up on this music. For some people, their parents grew up on this music. It was a multi-generational show, and people just felt like they were transported back to the era when they used to play this music as children, or when this music was a bit more popular in the country. But at the same time, we had some people who are not Nigerian who just love good music. So some of them had never heard it before, but they love good music. They love orchestra music, they love jazz orchestras, and they love, African music in general. So for them, whether or not they had heard the music before, it was just a good show, and we're very, very excited about that.
Great. With Canada done, the next stop is Nigeria. How are you preparing? The show is just like a few days away, and you're still in transit as we speak. Are you bringing down your team, or do you have a team you're working with already on ground here in Nigeria?
I have a fantastic team in Nigeria for the Nigeria show, and we're working with a local orchestra out of Nigeria called Premier Symphony Orchestra in Ibadan, and they're going to be headlining the Lagos show. We're also working with a very well-known stage actor. Her name is Oluchi Odi, and she's going to be doing the monologue narration of the story of Nigeria interwoven with the orchestra playing this music. And the show is hosted by the ever-renowned Tomiwa Sage. He's a brilliant comedian and show host, and so that's the crew or the cast for the Lagos show.
I must say that's a brilliant lineup that you have shared with us. You've chosen some of the great Nigerian classic songs that people talk about and all of that. So let's talk about the choice of music. It cuts across different eras and genre, right? And I know you already said that the inspiration for this concert is to chronicle the journey of Nigeria through the music, through the years in music. But what informed these choices? And it perhaps also speaks to your own musical exposure from over the years, doesn't it?
Yes. Before I answer that question, there's a point you raised about the exposure that I've had to music. Yes, I was quite exposed to great Nigerian music, and I think that that's some of the best legacy that we have as a nation. Some of our best exports are music. And I really want to clarify to people that Afrobeats is not the first thing that Nigeria has exported musically to the world. We've been exporting music for a long time. Juju, High Life, and so many other things. So we chose these songs because, we started out with a long list of songs that were just very nostalgic to us, that we thought that Nigerians across the country, not just in one region, can relate to. And then we started working on clearance. So the final set of songs are songs from a list that we deeply desired, and then songs that we were able to get clearance from the owners of the masters or the record labels. A lot of these people have already passed on. They they lived in Nigeria a long time ago, and so they passed on. Some are still alive, but it was very important to us to start the honor of the music and to start to give credit to whom it's due by getting proper clearance and licensing from the owners of the masters, from the record labels. And then once we got clearance for all the songs, we started working on producing an orchestra rendition of them.
Well, it's a good thing you mentioned Afrobeats in your response, even though we are not trying to start a war about which music genre crossed over first between Afrobeats and the other ones that you have mentioned. You know how our Twitter people can be. But hey, I digress and threw out a little joke out there. My next question, however, borders around Afrobeats. You see, classical music is still a niche kind of music in Nigeria, unlike the raving Afrobeats that's getting a lot of attention even globally. So what led you in the direction of classical music?
I do think it's more niche than, I would say, mainstream music, but I don't think it's as niche as people realize. I don't think people realize how many people are interested in this kind of music. This is not an opera, it's not a symphony. It's a jazzy style orchestra. So while it's fine music and it's classic style music, it's very jazzy and it takes the form of the music that it's performing. So you're going to recognize a lot of the songs. A lot of these songs originally were actually performed by orchestras in the background, or some of the performances on stage were accompanied by orchestras. For instance, Bobby Benson's Taxi Driver is very well renowned to have been performed by his orchestra. So it's not foreign to them, but you're going to hear the music and you're going to recognize it. You're probably going to get up on your feet and dance. You're probably going to groove. You're probably going to sing along. So even if you haven't traditionally thought of yourself as somebody who likes classical music or who likes orchestra style music, I really want to encourage everybody to give this a try. It's a very jazzy, groovy, high-lifey style of orchestra music, and you're going to recognize all the songs, and you're going to be fascinated by what a violin and a horn and a bass guitar can do for music that's like traditionally high life or traditionally Afro beats or traditionally juju.
Well, now that we're going into the form that these songs are going to take, could you confirm ahead how much alterations will be made to those classic songs that you have chosen so that the age-long fans of these songs can be better prepared?
Yeah, I can assure you that we haven't tampered with the songs that you love. As a matter of fact, we've just transferred them or reimagined them in this style of music. I mean, even the performers themselves can never do one song twice the same way. So what we've done is we've taken all these incredible instruments and we've given you the opportunity to hear them with instruments that you traditionally might not hear them with, but they're going to sound very familiar. You're probably going to hear some things that you're like, wow, or you're going to say, you know, that was a bit of an undertone, but it has been brought up in this performance. The music was all arranged by Kehinde Oretimehin. He's a world-renowned Nigerian composer and arranger. So he has taken all the original songs licensed by the record labels, and he has scored them out for the instruments, right? So there's strings, there are winds, there are percussions, and there are all sorts of instruments that are going to be performing this music. So when you hear music from Victor Olaiya, Victor Waifo, Osita Osadebe, Alex Zito, Evie Edna Ogoli, and Bobby Benson, and so many more, you're going to be like, I did not know that I could have so much fun at an orchestra event. So if you're familiar with orchestra events, then you're already anticipating how much fun it's going to be. But if you have never really considered this kind of music, just know that you're going to be pleasantly surprised, and no one's going to be offended because nothing has been tampered with. It's just been reimagined and presented in a new and fresh, exciting way.
Many thanks again for joining us, and we wish you a safe flight back to Nigeria and subsequent concerts. And that's the show for today. Do follow us on the social media handles showing on your screen. Until next time, my name is Abide Midaro, and it is bye for now.